All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new week. It's another yet new episode of the Reality Kenya. My name is Simi Kenya. Of course, we are live from the Learned Corner. A lot has been happening, and we are here to break them down with our guest, as usual, the Deputy Party Leader of Safina Party, Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno. Piki bonki.
Paka melodies.
Karibu sana one more time.
Sana.
How is the week?
The week is good, even though Kenyans have expressed their displeasure at the finance bill. I saw the Catholic Church and the Conference of Bishops also issued a statement saying that this finance bill is the worst in the history of Kenya and it's going to cause untold economic pain. You know, one thing that I need our listeners to understand, led by our party leader, Jimmy Wanjigi, we had said last year that this the economic model of Kenya Kwanza, Ruto, is not sustainable. Because you are spending 80% of your revenue on debt finance. You are left with only 20% of it to meet your operations, salaries, pay CFS accounts, and do development. So the 20% that you're left with is not enough. You cannot achieve anything. So the ingenious way of attempting to still collect property is to increase taxes, levies and charges, while still maintaining the 80% of our revenue going to tax, going to debt finance. It will not work. You have to look at the debt question and confirm if that debt is odious and how can we reduce it. If it is odious debt, don't pay it. They don't want to do that. So now what they're doing is they are forcing us into raiding our pockets to get money out of them. And I say this, we've reflected on this attempt and we are seeing what is called tax anarchy. We are going into a fiscal collapse at this rate. Because this is how it works. You're trying to charge people for taxes, charges and levies beyond what they can sustain, beyond what they can afford. When they fail to pay, because they cannot afford it. So I call it fiscal anarchy, because you will see a huge number of people not paying. Then you don't collect. So even the little you're collecting last year, you will not collect it this year. And that will lead to a collapse. Because now there will be complete, total shutdown and collapse of the fiscal system. So take, for example, the motor vehicle circulation tax. Already motor vehicle, the insurance penetration in that sector, motor vehicles, is less than 10%. With this new tax, somebody is going to ask himself, even if it was a comprehensive cover, that am I going to pay my comprehensive cover and then pay government tax? Some will opt out of insurance completely. Others will say, okay, because of this tax, I'm only taking out third party. So the insurance companies will all lose on the payments that will have gone to comprehensive cover, because now people are only paying third party and the tax. But what is the net effect to that company? That company's returns will reduce. Remember, beyond the collection of the motor vehicles insurance circulation tax, the insurance company has employees. It pays corporate tax. It pays VAT on its other products. Now, because of reduced business, that company is going to reduce its workforce. There will be layoffs. The insurance agents will not be able to make sales. Again, layoffs. The cumulative effect of it is that the insurance sector, if it was contributing this many billions every year, is going to contribute less. Those who are in third party, who have been in third party because they cannot afford to pay comprehensive. Now you are forcing them to pay an almost equivalent amount that would have been comprehensive. They'll abandon insurance altogether.
For you to recover
because they don't want to be caught. They cannot afford it. Then, so those are the things that I say lead to fiscal collapse. You look even at what Kenya Kwanza was doing in the edible oil sector. You know, and we said this thing on this platform. The edible oil sector alone pays not less than 45 billion into the economy. Then last year, they started this fight with the sector that we are going to import refined edible oil to reduce the price to the consumer. So two things you've done. Number one, that so-called pricing reduction to the consumer never happened. And number two, you fought a sector that was paying you huge amounts in tax revenue at the benefit of other foreign companies and traders. Because it's just the traders who are importing the refined crude oil who are benefiting. So you killed that sector. This is what I call tax anarchy, fiscal anarchy. It will be a complete breakdown. So you are not going to collect this revenue that you had. Now they have increased again more taxes and levies to different sectors.
You said there are 200 new
Over
taxes.
200 new taxes have been introduced in this finance bill. And that when the economy is shrinking, people are struggling to participate in the economy. If you are buying one loaf of bread every morning, now you can only afford half a loaf. With these new taxes, you will not buy any loaf. So what happens when you cannot afford to buy the bread? The baker will bake fewer breads. So the baker must reduce his workforce. He must reduce his distribution channels. So the drivers will have to be laid off. The turn boys will have to be laid off. The entire value chain. It goes all the way back to the wheat farmer. So these tax measures, their net effect is to reduce people's participation in our economy. But then it comes around to eat that government itself. Because the cumulative effect is that you are going to collect less and less in revenue. And we did say this last year when they came with the first punitive finance bill. And we said they will not collect that revenue. That revenue target, they will not meet it. Now, compare the collections for this year and the collections for Uhuru Kenyatta.
Even in the
on average, is last year. On average, Uhuru was doing 172 billion per month, without increased taxes, charges, and levies. These ones increased taxes, levies, and charges. They are also averaging between 172 175. That time they increased pay as you earn for certain band to 35%. They introduced VAT on fuel. They introduced the housing levy on all workers. And yet, there is no significant change.
Actually, it was supposed to double.
It was meant to double. They did not. So, it tells you what we said. We've reached the Laffer curve. There's nothing in this economy that when you adopt an approach of increasing taxes, that it will change. It cannot change. And they're not getting it. That cow that they get their milk from has dried up. Look for alternative ways to feed this cow. Focus on production. How do you boost productivity? How do you encourage the flow of money? So they'll end up going back to borrow again heavily from the domestic market. In that domestic market, when they're borrowing, they are chasing you, the private sector, from borrowing. Because now you don't have access to capital. The banks will tell you interest rate is 24%. Because then the government, they're borrowing at 16, 17, 18%. So they don't have an appetite to borrow from you, to lend you. So they want to lend to government. So the government is borrowing not to do any project. It is borrowing to eat. The private sector and individuals are not able to access credit facilities because it is too expensive. So what is the catalyst of development in this country as we speak? Because you need to be seeing the economy expanding, people engaging in economic activities. That is when government will also collect more revenue. But if government is borrowing money, not for development, but to eat, the private sector, that will have also been another catalyst for development, cannot borrow because they also government crowding them out of that space. They are not able to borrow. They cannot take any project. So we are now, in essence, as a country, living and paying tax to feed Ruto and his people. That is all that is happening. Whatever little they are collecting, they are using it to eat. And you look across the entire country, what development project has Kenya Kwanza undertaken? Tell me that one project that you can say, this is their signature project. What bridge have they built? What major road have they commissioned that we can say they are doing this? Nothing. And when government is not spending money on development, it is not stimulating the economy. you end up having a regression. There are no stimulus to growth. There is no production taking place here. Hence, you are seeing a country choking. And at this point, I can actually predict a fiscal collapse. If things remain the way they are, I'm seeing doom ahead. I'm foreseeing a fiscal collapse. Because we are spending too much of our revenue to pay debt. We are not seeing any government interventions that stimulate the economy, sided towards growth trajectory. But we are seeing increase in taxes, levies, and charges. So over and over, we are being choked. And once you reach a certain level, it collapses. Because that model is not sustainable. Either they will have to open up these debt books. Or declare default. As we have always said. Just default on paying the debts. And then find out which debts are legal, which ones are odious, and don't pay. Then you get a breather. But Ruto is avoiding this default route that we've been propagating.
Why do you think so?
He fears the consequences. So he fears doing that. And to prove us wrong, he's now coming to the sovereign to collect more money from the sovereign.
And which option do you think is worse? Coming to the sovereign?
Or the sovereign, you can only come from the sovereign if the sovereign has money. But in this particular case, the sovereign has no money. Look, even by the way, try this thing I didn't tell you last time. The charges they are proposing to increase on mobile phone money transfer services, mobile phone services. It is still, again, part of the haircut we told you about. It's an asset seizure. Because you have your money, you want to send it to B. So government is saying, oh, you have 100 shillings to send. We want to take 40 shillings out of it. And they're calling it transaction charges. Not transaction charges. It is just that government has seen that you have money, as you're sending it to B, let us also get a portion of that pie. That's why they're increasing these charges. So it's a haircut. I told you they will come for your money, your assets.
And from M-Pesa, they will come to the banks.
After M-Pesa, it will be banks. Because they make some ridiculous increments in the charges. Because a charge is just meant to facilitate. If it is just a charge for the service, it should, and the government should only collect tax on the charge which has been levied by the service provider. But when government is coming up with very high tax, excise duty, on that service, then it is no longer about taxing the service. It's about trying to get a pie of
from what they see,
the value of what they're seeing you transacting. That is what they're doing. And it's going to affect. So people will avoid using money transfer services.
People will go back to the cash.
People will go back to cash transfers. And why is that? Because if I'm going to be sending this much and I'm losing this much, then I can as well stop that kind of transaction. But what does it do to you? Because when Kibaki allowed M-Pesa, mobile money services in this country, it was meant to stimulate an economy. You want a quick, fast movement of money, transfer of money, to boost trade. I'm a trader in Kirinyaga. I want items in Nairobi. Just using a phone, I'll be able to make my order, have the goods delivered to me. I don't have to travel all the way to Nairobi. So technology is meant to help, to fast track and to boost trade and production. They are now killing it. They are not seeing technology as an enabler. They are using technology as a way to take people's assets. That's what they're doing. And then you'll see these our stupid MPs, some of them, will blindly go and vote for these things. And Kenyans now need to call these MPs as the most useless parliament that we've ever had. Of course, there are one or two, some of them who have been vocal against the finance bill. But there are some others who refuse to think. They cannot even be explained to or understand what is the economic outlook when you have this punitive taxation. They are going to be read to the budget this week. They are not even able to interrogate. Why, as the minister proposed the finance bill, before it tells us the revenue raised, the budget that is supposed to be funded.
Yeah, by this
finance bill. Because you should have first told us this is the budget I'm proposing.
Yeah.
These are the revenue raising measures that I'm going to use to fund the budget.
Yeah.
So everything is in shambles. Yesterday, Ruto decides to sign a further supplementary budget.
Yes.
Just as this financial year is coming to an end. So which budgeting have these guys been doing?
Yet we are already in June.
We are in June. This is the end of the financial year.
Yes.
We are actually having a budget right this week. And you are signing an appropriation bill, supplementary appropriation.
For the previous government.
Which was for the previous, the ending financial year.
Yeah.
It's come to an end. What else do you want to appropriate? This is how they steal our monies. They keep coming up with new supplementary appropriations.
Yeah.
To realign whatever is in the budget to facilitate them getting the money, and there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
Because if it was truly about serving the people of Kenya,
yeah,
you will not expect a government to be doing a supplementary budget appropriation on the last week
of the financial
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you are planning, you should have known.
Yes.
When you did the last supplementary, you should have known this one will take us through to the end of the financial year.
Yeah.
So now they are doing a supplementary to pay expenses. There's nothing about development that's supplementary.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you, they come to raid your pockets for them to live a good life.
Yeah.
They are not realigning the budget to support development. Those expenses are largely going to be recurrent expenses in the supplementary appropriation.
Yeah.
What are recurrent expenses? It's them living large. That is Kenya Kwanza for you.
Yeah.
And Kenyans need to call out their MPs. We need to tell them we are watching. And the coming election, we shall fagia water.
Yeah.
All of them who've caused us this pain.
Yeah.
They have to go.
But it is unfortunate that some MPs up to now don't even know what is in that file.
They don't know. Majority of them don't know.
Yeah. What do you think?
They don't know. You see, that is because them they vote because they're paid. They are no longer representing the people. And that's why I'm saying the next elections, the next election in this country should be about fagia water. We just have to chase all these lots that have caused us this pain.
Yeah.
We need new thinking. This pain that Kenyans are going through is perpetuated by the political class to a large extent.
Yeah.
We need fresh ideas that is not contaminated by the bad behaviors of Jubilee that majority of these people have gone through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all these problems I told you is Jubilee. They started them in 2013. These ones are now perfected them.
Yeah.
But now they're the most clueless and incompetent of the lot.
Yeah.
To continue with these bad behaviors of Jubilee. So we must call them out. And Kenyans have to now start thinking, asking themselves the critical questions.
Yeah.
Is this our destiny? Is this our future? Can we entrust our country to this lot?
Yeah.
And I do believe this cannot be our destiny. This cannot be our future.
Wow. And as we wind up, do you think that's why they don't want to revise all this debt, because maybe they were part of it in the previous
Of course, if you look at the last parliament, and even this parliament, the last parliament in particular, all they ever did was to keep raising the debt ceiling. Yeah, they kept raising the debt ceiling. They were never asking, why are we raising the debt ceiling? Parliament of Kenya has failed to ask one of its critical questions.
Yeah.
In our laws, you only borrow money for development. That is what our laws provide for. Specifically, you only borrow money for development. The only borrowing that's allowed for short term is for a period of less than short term borrowings.
Yes.
Cannot even be more than 5%. And is meant to deal with what is referred to as cash flow challenges. Just cash flow challenges.
5% of the entire budget.
Yes, less than. And it's only meant to deal with cash flow challenges.
Yes.
So it's short-term borrowings. But we witnessed an unbridled appetite to borrow from Jubilee to even now.
Yeah.
And MPs are not asking, what are you borrowing for? Which development project? Which road is this debt going to fund? Okay, we are seeing you are going to take Eurobond.
Yeah.
Which road do you want to fund using this project, this money? Which bridge do you want to build?
Yes.
We are seeing you floating treasury bills and bonds every week.
Yeah.
Which road is the money going to? They cannot tell us.
Yeah.
If they cannot tell us, if the MPs cannot ask those basic questions, and we are seeing government borrowing every day, then it means the MPs are seconded.
It's almost every month we
Yes.
receive loans.
Yes. So if the MP cannot explain himself as to his role, so why should we bother? That to me is what I say. These are failed system. Borrowing should be tied to, we are building this road from Kirinyaga to Muranga. We are funding it 40% taxpayer money, own revenue, 60% we are borrowing from, for example, China Exim or FD. They are not doing that. And MPs are just keep voting as robots. They are not asking the critical questions that they should be asking. They are failures. Failures like Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza. They have not served the people of Kenya as expected of them.
And calling them failures, yesterday there was a report that their rating has now come from C to now D. How can you rate them right now?
E for elephant.
Last time you gave them D.
Now it is E for elephant. Because they are fighting amongst themselves. They are unable to deliver the mandate of Kenyans. They've come up with a more punitive finance bill. We thought last year was bad. This year is even worse. Next year will even get worse. Worse than this year. So now they are on E. E for elephant.
But people also said they are fighting for each other. They are created this fight maybe to confuse.
No. They are fighting because they cannot. There's little to eat. They are fighting because there's scrambles to eat. So they are fighting over the pie. They are not fighting because of the people of Kenya. So the fight between Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto has nothing to do with us. In fact, we should encourage them to fight. Their disagreement is purely about how to
we should be clapped,
we should be eaten. Because he said he set up Mtego. He said they are shareholders. So the shareholders went into the room. Now they are fighting, they can't agree on how to eat, how to cause us pain. So Kenyans should encourage the fight and support. In fact, support Gachagua to fight Ruto and support Ruto to fight Gachagua.
No, do you think that will cause a lot of this?
No. It will not, but we want them to continue being in office. Because when they're united, all they do is they cause us pain. If this fight was genuine, let us see Rigathi Gachagua and his people stand up and say, we reject this finance bill. If it was about the people of Kenya, just stand up and say, we reject this finance bill. And this is causing pain to the people, it's going to mess up our economy. If he says that, then we will say it's genuine. As it is. As all we know is shareholders went into a room, and the shareholders are fighting. There's nothing to do with us. Over the shares. There's nothing to do with us. So they're fighting how to eat. And we encourage them to fight. It's not our problem. Okay?
Team Picky Ponky.
Team Picky Ponky. New week, budget week. Let's keep the conversation about the economy and let's call out the failures of Kenya Kwanza and William Ruto. The failed team that is leading Kenya into a fiscal anarchy and collapse. Thank you very much. Let's keep engaging.
Wow, thank you so much, Naibu.
Thank you.
May God bless you, and to all the Team Picky Ponky and everyone, may God bless you. Until next time, my name is Simi Kenya.